Hey, this is Richard for Hip Hop Robot, and for today's review, I've got the Walmart exclusive Optimus and Grimlock set. So, both of these figures are repaints, and they're based on designs that have nothing to do with Age of Extinction. But Walmart wanted to make some extra money, and if you don't happen to have these versions of these particular molds, or even if you do, you might like these because they're colored a little bit differently, and they're actually kind of a cool set. So real quick, this Optimus is from the Revenge of the Fallen. The last Optimus from Dark of the Moon actually had some better design elements, but this guy, you know, he's a small legend size Optimus, so the design and the mold actually are pretty cool for the size that you're getting here. Also, some of the big differences is there've been a ton of recolors for this particular mold, but this one, the gray is quite a bit darker, and to me that makes it look a little bit cooler instead of having, like, you know, kind of like this bright gray color like some of the other versions have had. Also, the paint apps on this one are pretty tight. Like, the factory did a really good job with this. So even a handful of samples I picked up at the store, they all look pretty good. So that's a good sign, especially if you're interested in picking this up. It should be good. Fairly easy to find one that's going to be, you know, good quality, and you don't have to sit there and pick through and look at the paint apps. This guy here, who's supposed to represent Grimlock, is actually from Transformers Energon. They didn't do anything to, you know, remold the head or anything, so, you know, he's supposed to represent Grimlock, but he's you know, completely different character altogether. But they've painted him up here to look like, or to represent, movie Grimlock, at least in the colors that Hasbro decided to use for the US versions of Grimlock. That's a whole nother topic. But if you haven't seen this guy before, this is in Energon he was called Cruel Lock. And one thing that's pretty interesting is, you know, in Energon he had, well, the Energon characters in general had these little star pieces, Energon stars, and on this guy, you know, he comes with it, but this is actually glued to his chest. You cannot take that off. I guess you could try to use brute force and use some pliers or something, but you'd end up, you know, scratching it all up, so that wouldn't be cool. I display him with this tail piece kind of spread backwards, try to make him look more samurai, but technically the instructions say to transform him like that. His transformation is pretty simple. I mean, almost he doesn't really transform, he just kind of goes into position. But take off his or pull apart his legs here, and he's got this kind of auto transforming feature, which is kind of cool. And then by doing so, you bring the tail together, and you can take this piece, which I skipped a step here, and position it there so it can become part of the tail. And he just kind of folds in there, and then you got his Grimlock mode, dinosaur mode, whatever you want to call it. And his mouth opens, and, you know, you can hold that or you can store it. So, you know, for a character in general, the toy is pretty cool. It's simple, but good detail, good posability. And, you know, definitely a good size to have a Grimlock like this. Just in case you haven't seen this transformed before, his transformation is real simple, which is, you know, might be a turn off, but makes him a little bit easier to kind of mess with. You know, if you wanted to take this to work with you and, you know, play with him at your desk. Up, and he arm popped off here. You know, it kind of makes a good figure just to, you know, simple and straight to it and easy to transform with. So, you know, something you can have fun and play with very easily. And there's also another character that's been positioned as Grimlock, and that's this Beast Hunters guy. So you got these two Grimlocks for Age of Extinction. One's bigger, one's smaller. Neither one of them has anything to do with Grimlock, but you know, I guess Hasbro decided they wanted to, make some quick money and not make new molds of this character. So in that aspect is kind of a shame, but at the same time, if you didn't have either of these, or just like the color scheme, this kind of brown and whatnot color scheme, you know, now you can have this character and call him Grimlock and be done with it. There you have it. You got the Walmart 2-pack with the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus. The packaging design is pretty cool. It's a bit different from the generations and whatnot that are out right now. But you got the same kind of graphics that you've had on the other Age of Extinction toys. But, you know, kind of this big wide box is different than the other stuff that the other, you know, like the Toys R Us exclusives and Target exclusives. Well, actually this is kind of similar to some of the Target exclusive ones. But, you know, kind of makes it a little bit more collectible, easy to store and repackage. So, you know, cool aspect there too. But other than that, there you have it. Two toys that you may or may not have already, but are now colored differently and are called different characters. But still cool toys in general, and definitely worth picking up. And again, thank you for tuning in to Hip Hop Robot, and please check us next time on our next review.